Hello, my name is Jay Chauhan. I'm a lawyer in Richmond Hill, and I run a mentorship group called Angel Mentorship Group. Today is the 5th of November 2018, and today's topic is how do you manage your day and your priorities in a legal office? And so I think the idea came in my mind based on what happened for a couple of files that we were managing. So there's a hearing tomorrow, the hearing a couple of days from now, and we managed to send out the documents for adjournment, and we're going to prepare for the hearing coming up in the next couple of days, and, and do that. So the key things to think about organizing your day in a legal office is starting the day with a list of the priorities that you think you should cover. And I would strongly recommend that you create a system for a checklist system for organizing the day's priorities, which means that you have a name of a file and what you're going to do. And preferably you should allocate a time frame to the activity that you're going to carry out. Say, let's say you're preparing a statement of claim or a defense or drafting a will. So that item should be on your list, and I would suggest that not just keep it mental, but have it written down somewhere. If you're working with your staff, clerk, secretary, paralegal, or anybody else in your office, then you might even consider sitting with them to organize your priorities. If everybody in the office is focused on the events that you want to carry through in the day, then the whole team should know what the priorities of the day are. And each one in the group may have a different priority, but you have certain things in common, and it's good for all the people to know each other's priorities as well, so that the office works in a coordinated fashion, and then you can carry out the objectives of the day. And how do you set the objectives of the day? If you're in litigation, you should not try to do the event in the last day or the last few days, because there's usually a lot of preparation required for the hearing. And even if it is something like a settlement hearing, it is very important to prepare. If you're in a small claims court, for example, then in a settlement hearing, you would look at the documents, you'd see your client's position, and formulate your thinking on what is it that you would like to be able to say, and not give the other party a surprise. It is better, in my view, to let the other party know. So the preparation that you do is not just for yourself, but your opposing party or your own office, in how far they help you, should be working towards an objective. So on the checklist, you should list out who is going to do what for that particular day. And if you're working independently, like for example, another lawyer in your office, or a paralegal or somebody, they have their own agenda, and what is it that you want them to do and what is it that you're going to do should be coordinated. So that's the preparation of the legal items in the day. But on your day should also be a focus that the day is organized to minimize the use of the time, so you don't think on the file as you go. You've thought out what you're going to do and then carry out the thing in the time frame that is reasonable. If you do not allocate the time frame, what typically happens is there are so many new things come in your mind as you're solving the problem, that you really begin to spend too much time on one particular file, forgetting other files. And typically in many offices, there are deadlines. And if you have not observed the deadlines approach or have a system of organizing them, then you're constantly working under tension and panic all the time. So I think that the day's priority should reflect not only going to do for today, but what you do today is going to affect you in a day or two for a hearing, or other things that you need to do, like contacting the client, keeping them informed, preparing the documents. And that whole list of things you need to do in that file should be measured and determined before starting the work. Because when you start the work on that file, there'll be lots of new ideas and thoughts will come to your mind, and your mind will be set to try to finish that item off, doing everything you possibly can, and the chances are that you'll then not give sufficient time to other activities of the day. For example, phoning the client, making a short phone call, or a reminder to tell somebody that something has to be done. So then you do those smaller items first, then you allocate blocks of time to carry out things like drafting a statement of claim or preparing a will. So I think there should be time allocated to the phone calls, time allocated to the major items of the day, but most importantly also, there should be also management of your legal office. I mean, the management also includes anything from making sure that all your forms of for example, that you have to file the annual return, you have to prepare your accounting statement, you have to prepare your billings, and many things that help you administer the office. And these things also should have a reasonable amount of priority. Talking to your bookkeeper, and also in the modern times, you have a lot of technology that can support you. But technology also creates a problem of learning the technology. So you should not only have the use of the latest technology, but also you have to learn how to use them. So for example, in my case, I use a Dropbox, which means that you have a document, other members of the firm or other parties share the Dropbox, and you have to make sure that they are aware of how the system works as well. So when you put the item in the Dropbox, you have to make sure that other people know about it and that they carry on the task from then on and make the changes to documents, give it back to you, and the coordination system should be a part of the daily priorities. So I think I gave you an overview of the day, and I think the total focus of the lawyer's work should be based on the time, because the time is essentially how much fees can you bill, and if you do the administration of the office, it's not going to be billable, so you have to keep the constraint on the overall time limit that you spend on each item. And one thing I should add to the time management is that we are engaged as lawyers in very emotional activities, and especially when you are in a litigation kind of an area of law where you are going to be challenging the opposing party. So there is a lot of tension based on how you explain yourself to the other party, how do you settle, how you negotiate, and therefore it has an emotional event. When you have too many files of a tension type, I strongly recommend that you manage your day managing the number of tension items that you can go through and not do too much of tension work on the same day. Break it into pieces and do it over a time period so that you manage your day properly and not get overburdened. So find out the best time of the day when you're most productive. If you're like me, you like to think in the mornings, do more in the afternoon, then you organize your day based on your daily rhythm of what I think I think doctors call circadian rhythm that we have, your sleep cycle, waking cycle, but also your peak hours of performance of the day. So when you put it all together, and after all this organization, you will still see that there will be emergencies happening in the day. So you should be ready to deal with the emergency and then immediately get back to the checklist that you created in order of priority that you prepared. But all those things, there should be a long-term focus. What you do today affects what you achieve for tomorrow and the long-term objectives of the law firm and what you want to achieve in the legal practice as a whole. So I hope that was useful. This was a program on daily management, and hope to do another program shortly. And if you like this videos, please make a comment at the bottom and join the Angel Mentorship group and invite your friends. The group is open and is primarily for lawyers and paralegals, but I've opened the group to also people who are self-represented and the members of public would like to understand how the legal system works. Thank you. We'll see you again.